This is the first episode of the Peach and Daisy Discord podcast. I am your host. I am Shnoork. I'm the man running the show. I am joined by two very special guests right now. We have Floating Pluto. He's your boy. You see him on Twitter. He's doing all the turn-up combos. He's hitting the lab. He's been streaming lately. He just graduated high school too. Pluto, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Happy to have you here, Pluto. And then
Thank
his
you.
webcam's not working right now, but we also have people call him the rising star on the Canadian circuit. People call him the second best speech in Canada. We have Awesomecake
Ooh,
with us too.
you did me like that. The second best peach? Who's the best? Who's the best
Well, who
other
could
than me?
say?
Come
Really,
on.
there's a lot of competition out there. A lot of people throw out my
Like
name,
who? Like who? Oh,
Shnork.
come
They say Shnork.
on.
Shnork's pretty good. There's this kid
Snorks.
Sai. He's been on the come up. He's been hitting
Yeah,
tournaments.
Side has been on the comment. Yeah, I
He's
want that to
been
be
he's
a
been putting
topic
stuff
today.
out
Who's the
there.
real best peach in
Who's the real
Canada?
best peach in Canada? I don't think that's the topic for today. We don't have a full cast at the moment. We were gonna have one more
Because you
member
don't want
join us. We'll see if he comes in later. He's just, I don't know, he's probably busy or something. Happens.
just don't want to
But
admit it.
yeah, no. I know that you guys are both very excited to do this podcast with me. Awesome Cake, you were one of the first people that I reached out to. It was you and Breezy, and you were both very eager. Uh, and Pluto was probably the single person who was like most excited to do this podcast. I think it was like I hit up Pluto and he was like, "Yo, that's lit." He was hyped.
Yep.
I'm really glad to have both of you on because you both contribute a lot to the community, right? The Discord community that we have going on, which is the Paisycord. Uh, I know that Awesome Cake is probably he's one of our like big guys that we go to for advice.
Hmm.
You did JTA, at least one of them with us, the
Oh,
joint tournament
I
card.
did both of them.
You did both of them. You did two. I think we've had
Yeah.
more than two. We had one with Inkling Court as well,
Oh, okay. I
which
didn't
was
do the
like
Inkling
it
Court one.
was in their Discord, but that one counts, I guess. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
no, like you're one of our more knowledgeable people in the Discord, I would say. Uh,
Oh, yeah. I've been around.
yeah, no, you've been around. You've been around for a while. Also, you had that series you were doing, that analysis series you were doing on YouTube. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I told you to make it a playlist so I could put it in the resource section so that I could just have it all there. I don't know if you've done that yet. I haven't checked in, but if you make that a playlist, I would love to have that in resources because that's
I will
that's
go ahead and do that.
it's a really good analysis series.
Yeah, analysis is one of my strong suits. I always enjoy doing that, and even in the Peach Discord, I'm always in the analysis theater giving advice.
Yeah.
So I do also think that's like one of the best ways that you can improve your game is
Oh,
to
for
just
sure.
pay attention to the gameplay.
Especially like for a lot of the people who come to our Discord who are like, "Oh, I have trouble in like these and these matchups," or like, "Oh, I always suck at this." It's always like, if you give us a vid, an analysis theater of you getting bodied, we can give you the best advice in the world. Like honestly, I feel like people get self-conscious and they don't want to show, they don't want to sit there and be like, I lost this fight. They'll try to give you a set where like they did okay because they don't want to lose face, but it's like, no, dude, like we got to see you get messed up. The more you get messed up, the more we can give you advice. Like, because that's it comes down to neutral, right? If you're getting destroyed, it means there's something fundamentally flawed with how you're playing the neutral in this matchup, and that's what we want to give you advice on, So, and the
Oh,
answer is
absolutely.
almost always like play more defensive too. It's funny how often you have
Yeah,
to be
that's
like you
true.
could just copy and paste your responses from like 2 months ago and it still apply.
Oh yeah, just camp.
Yeah, just can't.
um, I mean, there's specific ways to do it, and once you're camping, or like once you like slow down and stop, like what you're like once you stop like trying to go in all the time, then you like can start picking out like specific moments in your gameplay. And that's like part of the analysis series that I wanted to that I was doing is like the very first video was just like stop, don't go in, and then pay attention to your mistakes. And that was like literally the whole point of that video. And it would be a good idea to make it like playlist series because it really does start with that concept. Like once you like stop trying to go in all the time, then you like can actually analyze your gameplay because yeah, that's like the first building block, I think.
I think the problem is a lot of people don't know how to turn their brain on in that sense. There's that autopilot that people do, which is it's not so much like playing dumb as it is just playing thoughtlessly and carelessly. And the moment you slow down and you sit, and you start to think about what you're doing, that's when you can actually adapt. Like adaptation is such a huge part of this game. Uh, I think the main problem is that people don't know how to adapt yet. They don't know how to react even, like react to how their opponent is playing fundamentally, and then how to play against that.
Yeah, especially when like Peach is mostly about adaptation to
Hmm.
where if you're only playing aggressive, you're just gonna get beaten out by like swords, or like projectiles, you're just gonna get hit and stuff. So it's just you kind of do need to adapt, especially with Peach.
That's definitely another thing. There's a lot of Peach players, especially like lower level Peach players. They'll just rush in. They see the character and they think this character does combos. This character is rush down. I don't know how many people are out there who just like Peach. Yeah, rush down character. That's not how that works. You can't play like that. You're gonna get bodied, and
uh,
then they do get bodied.
I will say
That's a
though
lot of
that like
us.
yeah, true. I will say though that like if you're learning the game from the beginning, I was actually watching like this was an FGC thing, from the anime Illuminati, Giuna, for learning about fighting games because I'm trying to get into Guilty Gear as well. And the thing he said about learning a new game is you want to be the person causing problems, not the one trying to deal with problems when you're just starting out. Like it's kind of like however like when I start a new game, I find the broken stuff and then I do it. So like with Peach, I think if you're just starting out, like learn the combos, get your damage, but you don't know how to you have to realize that you're not playing the game yet. You're not playing neutral. But the very first start like building block of like, okay, what should I be doing is like, okay, combos is good to be able to like go in if you're playing against even worse opponents. Like I encourage trying stuff out, but you just have to have that like uh, that thing in the back of your brain that says, okay, now that I know how to do this, I need to actually play the game. And that's when you like break into like the like that mid level of like, okay, or like upper mid of like, let's actually figure out what we're doing here.
Fletcher made a good point in chat. Everyone's favorite Joker main, Fletcher. He made a good point saying that a lot of times in this game, all you have to do is win neutral once, and then you're in advantage state. So it's like if you have a really good advantage state, you can just win. You can just win the game because if you're in advantage the entire game, you're obviously your opponent's going to lose. They're not getting their feet on the ground. I think advantage state is also really important to learn with that because Peach has such good advantage state. Like her ledge trapping, her corner pressure, because she can go up and down so fast just on a whim. It's really strong.
Yeah, I'd say she probably has like one of the best advantage state in the game compared to like, I mean, if we're gonna comparing advantage state to like Joker or like Pikachu, it's probably like she definitely does have a really good advantage state. She does so much damage. As you're saying, the ledge traps really good. She can get on and off platforms with ease. Um, she's pretty fast. Like, well, up and down, she's fast. Horizontally, not really. So she definitely does like she does a lot.
Yeah, like she has fast buttons and she can mix you up. Like
Hmm.
that's what you need for when you're in advantage state. Like the side to side and movement, that's neutral slow. That makes her neutral. Like you have to play it. You can't just hit buttons. But when you're in advantage, then yeah, that's when she feels fast because you're like doing like cross up nairs on the shield. You're just like throwing out buttons one after another, and then like you get hit by one thing and you take 80 damage. You're like so
When you're playing offline, you
we'll
also have so much time to react, like to actually play the game. Go figure. So that advantage state is
he
really
broke my
important.
heart. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, where's? I'm so jealous of y'all in the States. I'm like, God, I want my locals back. I want my locals back. I can't.
yeah, no, it's gonna be nice when they do come back. I think. I personally think I might be at the point where I want to start competing. Last time I competed was in Smash 4, and I was a scrub. I mean, I was interested in competitive. I had been interested in competitive for like a year or two, and I would play with my friends, but I had no actual like competitive experience yet. I didn't have any kind of neutral. I just wasn't very good at the game, and I would get bodied. And I think right now I'm probably like mental game, I'm at my peak. Like I know so much about this game at this point, and most of that's just from hanging around the Peach and Daisy Discord, and being able to talk to people who are better than me, talk to people who are worse than me, because helping other people learn. helps you learn a lot too. And yeah, no, I think when locals come back in Ontario, in Canada, I might have fun with that. I personally haven't really been playing much in lockdown, just because like lockdown hits, it hits different. You don't want to do all the things you would normally want to do. Like before lockdown, I was playing hella Smash, and then lockdown hit, and I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to play other games at least, you know. But yeah, that derusting process, I've been playing for like the past week or so because
Hmm.
I learned the meta is I can take my Switch to work and I can play on the bus, I can play on break, and it's fun, and I have fun with that. And yeah, no, it's I've been derusting quick. Like I was saying in the Discord, like after 3 or 4 days, I went from being super omega sloppy to like, oh, I'm actually like good at this game again. How did that happen? Normally it takes a lot longer, I feel like.
Like just in terms of movement, you mean? Like,
All of it.
because it, oh,
Because
okay.
like you figure with movement, the basic fundamental movement in this game is like, oh, you're doing foxtrots, you're doing your jumps, your short hops, your full hops, uh, and then as well as with Peach, you have jump, cancel, fast fall, and ground float movement. Uh, you just mess it up. You mess up all of the little things, and then it screws up your gameplay as a whole. So like you'll find you'll overshoot your target. You'll get a lot of full hops instead of short hops. You'll miss your JCFF window a lot. This is the type of thing you got to get used to again. So like yeah, I find always when I come back to this game, my movement is always sloppy. Even just like the basic stuff, even just dash dancing around, it's not good.
Oh. But there's a thing you got to learn by experience, like especially if you haven't been to tournaments in a while. I think the best thing you could do is just jump into it because I think playing in tournament is definitely its own thing. Like just decision making, adapting. Those are the kinds of things that I really tried to do with my video series. Is like just like the little finer aspects of like how to actually play against your opponent that is really difficult to sort of like codify. Like, how do you explain that to somebody? So just like picking apart the little parts of the gameplay.
Yeah,
But it's definitely like you need both, especially with Peach because she's such a technical character. You like especially if like you're learning melee, for example. You can say like, okay, if you're learning melee, you can't separate like learning how to wave dash and whatever in melee because you need that stuff for your neutral. Same thing with Peach. You need to do like jump cancels and you need to have the combo game. It's all part of her game plan. You just need to like merge the two. Is a really hard part. Um, yeah, and yeah, I want to see more people like really trying to like get their whole game plan together. It's like, what is Peach's game plan? How do you play against certain matchups and all that?
I think that's definitely
Matchups, I
something.
think, is like really hard.
I
Sorry,
think
second.
that's definitely something that I've personally gotten really good at in the past little while is matchups. Just because like just sitting there being an armchair kind of like theorist on it and just like looking at matchups and being able to theory craft on them a lot, I feel like that's improved how I approach a lot of matchups when I do play. Uh, Stuff like, oh, in this matchup, you just don't approach and you win, period. Like there's a story that I've told on Discord where I found a quick play Ganon. He had no, it was like two stocks, 3 minutes. And the moment the game started, he did the taunt, the message thing. He's like, gotta go fast. And I was like, I'm not going fast. I'm just gonna camp you. And then I won. There was like 8 seconds left on the clock, and he lost his last stock. He barely touched me. I was just
Ooh.
like, this is what you get. This is what you deserve.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta play the matchup correctly, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't want me to play the matchup right. He knew deep down I was gonna camp him, and he didn't want me to. He tried to get ahead of it, and then I wasn't falling for it. Not today.
Oh yeah, that's not how that works. I mean, far too often I fall for that though. I through and through and I'm aggressive Peach, and I just want to hit buttons, man. If
This
I'm
is
on
why
quick
you're
plane,
this is why you're second best peach in Canada is because you're an aggressive
Yeah,
player.
dude, you gotta
hey,
stop hitting buttons,
You gotta
dude. Come
stop hitting
on.
buttons, man.
I want to though. I want to. Oh man,
What?
I just want to get my 80% combo and win. um, and that's part of the reason why like I feel like for me, tournament play is like completely different because I think in my brain, because I have been competing for quite a while, is like I can separate in my brain like what is a serious match when I go in like into a tournament. I'm like playing my best versus like trying stuff out on quick play. Like on when like kind of how I practice or how I encourage people to practice is if you're on quick play, like yes, you should try to win, but you should also try and like implement different things into your gameplay. And how you improve is by like um, say the last thing I did was ledge trumping. So I added ledge trumping into my game, and that really helped my ledge trapping because now people are more scared to hang on to the ledge. So like rather than forcing myself to do rather than going into the same habits I always did, I just tried to implement one new thing, and even if I did it wrong, I have now added that to my toolkit. And when I play in games now, I can like, okay, this is the situation to go for it. And I think that's the best thing that you can do if you're trying to improve, to just start like adding things in your gameplay and try stuff out when you're playing friendlies, when you're on quick play. And then like tournament is when okay, now it's time to bring everything together. I should 100% play the matchup correctly and just really play it to a T. But I experiment more when I'm in friendlies.
Yeah, I'd say that goes the same for like tech usage. I get a lot of questions asking, how do I hit this tech on somebody? It seems like it's so specific. Well, like what you just said, just experiment, like go online, see what situations that it's good to use in, and that's kind of how you can just use it in your normal gameplay.
Fletcher is absolutely agreeing in chat right now. He's saying that when you're doing quick play, you're doing friendlies, that's when you shouldn't even be thinking about winning. You should just be thinking about how can you implement new things in your gameplay, which
Yep.
I think is really relevant for especially advantage state, because when you're in advantage state, that's your playground. Your opponent's in the corner, your opponent's off stage. That's when like you have your sandbox. That's when you're playing Minecraft. You can do whatever you want. You can go build a dirt hut. You can build a cobblestone hut. You know, you can go off stage. You can stay on stage. You can cover high. You can cover low. You can. When I was like first learning the the real meat of advantage state and like ledge trap and keep your opponent in the corner, all I did was go for grabs. And I was like, this is how I'm going to learn how to react to the get up options. Is I'm just gonna grab. Normal get up, I'm gonna grab. Rolling in, I'm just gonna grab. I'm gonna pivot grab. Dude, I pivot grab so much. Pivot grab is busted in this game. But yeah, no, it's like that's the time. That's the perfect time to experiment is when you're doing your advantage state. I will say, we talked about going to locals and stuff, me and Awesomecake. But what about you, Pluto? Do you have any plans for hitting up tournaments? I know you've been streaming on Twitch.
Actually, I don't know yet.
No?
I've I've just been chilling, just streaming. I wanted to, at least grow a little community before doing locals and shit, but oops, sorry for I don't know if I can curse or not, but
I don't care.
for stuff. Okay.
Doesn't bother me.
Um, man, the last time I went to a local was like back in Smash 4. Obviously I
Wow.
got washed. Because we're all bad. We were all bad at one point. And I think that me being washed really stopped me from going to locals. Uh, but it didn't stop me from playing the game and improving.
That's a good mindset to go into. Like, I think as long as you like have your mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna work at this, I'm gonna improve, then you know you'll get there. I do think for me also like entering tournaments was always like a social thing, so I always encourage you to go anyway, even if you feel like okay, maybe I'm not going to live up to my standards or whatever. I think locals are a great place. Like you just go and like play friendlies, see if there's people around your skill level that you can play more often, and just playing the game more will help you improve.
I actually
There's
like 100% agree with that. Like 1,000% agree with that. When people look at like talk about Smash Twitter and the Smash community, that's not what the local scene is like at all. Like the local scene, at least for in my experience, was super tight. Like tons of nice people. These were all people who wanted to be here. They wanted to have fun. It was their hobby, is their passion. Like Even we had PR players who would come in and like, yeah, they would like rinse everybody, and it was just for them, it was like, all right, I'm just gonna come for my free $80 this week, you know. But yeah, no, everyone was just like really good attitudes. Oh, looks like we lost Awesome Cake.
No, there he is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, like the local scene, everyone just has such a great attitude, and then you go onto Twitter and it's just a cesspool, and it's like these are not the same people, you know. Like we have
Yeah.
Gommel, and in Canada we have Get on My Level, which is like our big major tournament, hosted by a Toronto Joe. He's a real one. We love Toronto. We love To Joe. Um,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, no, like even the majors experience, like basically it was the locals. There was just like a bunch of them, you know. Um, the first one I went to, we they did East versus West crew battles, so it was like Quebec versus Ontario. That was insane
Mm.
because like there were a bunch of different crews, but it ultimately came down to Montreal and Toronto mans, and the crowd was popping off. It wasn't a huge crowd. It wasn't like this is the global community coming to watch our scenes come and compete. It was just like the local guys from every single region, and they were all going insane in the front row. Like the front three rows were packed. Everyone was screaming. Everyone was popping off. Yeah, no, like you have to go to
Oh yeah.
live events. You have to go to
Oh
these
yeah.
live events.
With the locals, yeah, definitely people get into it. I remember like when I first started going to tournaments, this was like actually like early Smash 4. There were this is like a legend of the Toronto community, but they had a thing called pop bonuses where like people would just like throw in like if they would just like see a match that's happening and just to stir up some hype, they'd just be like, okay, you're now playing for $1, and then like they would just throw in $1, and it's like, okay, this is now also a money match, and then more people would throw in money, and then the crowd would form, and it was just literally the greatest thing ever. It was so much fun. It doesn't happen quite as much anymore, but yeah, you definitely have to go to live events, especially when you like form, you make friends and stuff. Like, you want to cheer, you want to get into it.
I think
So always
probably
encourage.
like the most memorable experience I had at a local was I had a very similar experience to Pluto where it was Smash 4. I was a scrub. I was washed. I was terrible at this game. And I went 0-2. And then we had our redemption bracket, which is like the amateur bracket. So if you lose, you go 0-2, you get signed up for this new one. I lost my first game and I was sitting there. I was just like gonna like do a little warm up on a training CPU. Wasn't in a good mood. And this one guy from our scene comes up. He's a Yoshi man. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He was really nice. We played some friendlies. Completely like rejuvenated my brain, just huge, like up, just swept up my spirit. And then I went and I made it to grand finals in the amateur bracket. So it's like, yeah,
Hey.
no, like
That's what's up.
having good people, it's whole different. Like imagine, you just think there are people who have only played this game online, who have only competed online, who have no idea what any of this is like. Like there are people who've only competed online. To them, it's just all pure toxicity. Smash GG chat is a mess. You got people telling you, kill yourself. People telling you you're cancer, and they're like shitting on you for your main. No matter who you main, doesn't matter who you main. Whoever it is, it's bad. There are people who that's their entire experience with competitive play, and it's going to be really interesting to at least just see them, to just see those people go from this environment to this environment.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually like night and day. Sorry, go
Hmm.
ahead, Pluto.
no, no, that's cool. I was just saying, yeah, it's totally just different like that.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I guess when I did go and I got washed, I was like, yeah, I don't want to go anymore. And then I was like, I do want to go to more sometime in the future. And then when Ultimate came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to locals. I'm gonna have so much fun. I'm totally getting better. And then quarantine hit. I was like, I'm never doing an online tourney ever again. I did one and I was done. I was like, fuck this. This was stupid.
Oh,
I
bro.
just stopped it.
Yeah, online tournaments it killed my soul. I did like one or two juice boxes and it was like not bad. I was like, okay, cool, I made out of pools on this one. Oh, cool, I beat a couple Luigi's in a row. And then like three tournaments in a row was like every single match was laggy. And I was like, God, please make it stop. And I could not enter anymore. So I just want locals back. It's a lot more fun. And yeah, just to the point where like it didn't even hit me that some people, yeah, they just literally haven't entered locals before, and I just feel so bad. Around here, I remember like like when Riddles started entering tournaments, it was really weird because he had been a Wi-Fi warrior for a while, and then like he just came in and he beat all of our PR players, and we're like, what? Who is this kid? And then now he's PGR'd.
I played him once
And
at Smash
but
4.
yeah, oh yeah, for
Played
sure.
him at it was at the local. He was playing Mega Man. I took him to Lilat because I love Lilat, dude. Like
Oh,
everyone
you're a
hates Lilat.
Lilac player?
Yeah, no. The thing is,
Oh,
if I'm up
Oh
against someone
no.
and I don't know what stage to go, we're going Lilat. Because I'm just betting on the like 90% chance you hate Lilat, and therefore it's in my advantage. So like if you like Lilat, it's almost always in your advantage. Just go Lilat. Might as well. Took him to
Oh
Lilat,
my
I still
gosh.
lost.
yeah.
Because it's Riddles. Riddles
Uh,
is insane.
Yeah.
very good player. Um,
Have you been seeing him with Kazuya lately?
Yeah,
oh
he's been
God,
going
that's
crazy.
Like
terrifying.
he'll tweet out like, "Oh, dude, Kazuya, like you got to work really hard with Kazuya. Like it's so hard to play Kazuya in this game and like win because obviously it's competitively and like he's looking at it from like a PGR standpoint." And he's like, "Yeah, no, this is like really hard." But then you also see the clips where he just destroys people in 5 seconds. Like I saw one clip where the first thing he did was he did the backdash off ledge. His opponent ran in and he just jumped up and he did the crouch dash in and he just zero to death them in 3 hits. And it's like Riddles, what are you doing, man? How can you tell me this character is like so bad competitively, and then you can do that? You know, like personally, I don't think this character is going to be that good competitively. I do agree with that, but like I think Riddles is the one person who I see on a regular basis who like makes me go like, okay, but this character's still pretty
Mm,
saucy. This character has a
mm.
trap.
Hmm.
I mean, we'll
I'd say
see.
that
Huh?
I'd say that's the same thing for Peach. A lot of people see Peach and they're like, "Oh, she seems really good," and then you realize like, "Oh, all of her broken stuff are pretty specific. You know, like her turnip combos. They're it's not like it's not common to like get turnip combos, but at the same time, it's like if you try, you know, you might land a few in a match.
I think that's always what it comes down to is I have not really practiced any of the zero to deaths. I didn't put any thought into it because I'm just like, well, it's a really specific niche type of thing. You're not going to get that very often. I'd rather put my time into neutral and like fundies and the basics, the stuff that you are going to use all the time. But what I tell people is when it comes to learning those zero to deaths is it's more about recognizing like a situation. So like if you're mid string or you just hit a straight hit, there's like a freeze frame in your head, like that the '90s thing where it's like, hey, you're probably wondering how I got here. Yeah, that's me. You know that one. It's like that where you're just like, oh, I can throw my turnip down here and I can now do my zero to death combo that I've just grinded for like 3 months and now I have like down with I have the muscle memory down. I can do it in my sleep. That's when the zero to deaths are like. That's when you want. That's the only time you're gonna get those. Is like you get that one niche, that one moment, that one freeze frame, you're in just the right spot, and that's the only time I think zero deaths are really all that relevant for Peach at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
well,
can't
yeah,
really fish for that.
Yeah, you really can't fish for it.
definitely agree. Oh, sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
definitely agree that you definitely have to know the right opportunities to use it. Um, but I don't know. I'll see like there's one Ling Ling clip that just got that has been floating around Twitter recently where he like just lands a stray back air at 0% while he has a turnip, and then he does like a Z drop turnip combo into death against this like me sword fighter. And like, oh my God. There's definitely like you have to find the right like middle ground between like you have to know how to do the combo, know in what situations they're going to work, and then like have the wherewithal to actually like perform the combo and go for it. Because it like yes, you can say like okay, I shouldn't fish for these combos, but again, on the other hand, if you're not looking for those opportunities, you're never going to land them. So like Ling Ling in that situation, he knew that he could like he had already labbed out that he could get the zero to death off of a stray back air at zero, and then he like did the combo. If he didn't lab out that specific starter, then he would have never gone for it.
Yeah, it really comes
Um,
down to
so
recognition. It's just being able to recognize this one part of the combo that I know, and then oh, I've just hit this random part of the combo that I know by accident, and then you can convert into that. That's that's what it's all about. We
Oh,
briefly
sure.
touched earlier on Kazuya. We were talking about riddles, but
Mhm.
he is the latest DLC. He's been out for a couple weeks now. Do you guys have any thoughts on him? Because like I feel like a lot of the discussion around Discord is like either he's mid tier or top tier. I think most people lean towards mid tier. What are your guys' thoughts? We'll start with
He's like
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. You start.
okay. I feel like he's like really slow. Um, and he kind of I don't know, just I haven't played a whole lot of versus Kazuya. Mostly my Kazuya experience is like, a little bit of quick play and the level 9 CPU just because I wanted to see if it was actually really good. But I kind of play him the same way that I play all the Shotos, which is like you kind of just
Camp.
dare and camp and stay away. He has a laser, but it's like,
It's not a good
he
laser.
he's not more scary than Terry. I will
Yeah.
say.
No. That's my. I would put Terry like way over Kazuya myself.
Yeah, that is true. Like Kazuya has zero deaths and stuff, but he's not more scary when Terry's at 100% and he just took a stock off of you and you're at your fresh stock. Like that's probably the
And then he
worst
gets two
feeling. Like
hits and you're at 60.
yeah, it's so nerve-wracking.
I find
Yeah.
yeah, no, we have Celis in chat saying, yeah, definitely more scared of Terry than Kazuya. By the way, I mean, this is the Paisycord podcast. If you guys are in chat, you can feel free to weigh in as well. We're talking about Kazuya, so I know everyone has an opinion on the latest DLC character. Personally, I think this character is like the token mid tier, is like the definition of mid tier, where it's like this character's not that great, bad movement. It's just fundamentally some bad stats that kind of this character is not going to like you can't solo main this character because you're just not going to win a tournament. You're not going to make top 8 because well, I mean, you can make top 8 if you get a good bracket, but you're going to have certain characters going to go up against bracket and it's just going to be like a -3 matchup and you're just not going to be able to get through it. But at the same time, this character has so many gimmicks that they dumped onto him that he's just going to have random results just because he's got armor on everything. He's got iframes on everything, you know? Uh, at the same time, we're also like we're only a couple weeks into Kazuya. The meta is still evolving. Like you see people figuring out the crouch dash exploit where you can just hold sideways and hold down and you just go across the stage. He has his sauce. He has his movement tech. I remember the first day he dropped. I was messing with him in training mode, and I went to the battlefield platforms, and I was thinking to myself, oh, this character actually has really good platform movement because you can cancel his jump. His single like full hop is terrible. He can't even make it to the platform. But if you do the double jump, you can mount that platform really efficiently, a lot like Peach can. You know, you can just do regular old wave dash, or you can just jump up in like forward air or something, and you'll land on the platform. So I was like, you know what? I see some sauce in this character's future. Still don't think he's going to be very good. He's just too gimmicky. He's just relies on too many mid tier gimmicks to be anything more than mid tier. You know.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Though I do also I will say, the longer the game goes and the longer he's out, the more people are going to figure him out. Like I'll see, like in juice box results, and it is online, but I'll see like Matt Bro has multiple top 8s with Ganondorf, and it's like, how can you literally get top 8 with Ganondorf of all
I
characters?
think when it comes to
Uh,
Ganondorf, he's one of those characters you don't beat Ganondorf, you just lose to Ganondorf. It's like if you main Ganondorf, you're not winning the game. They're losing. They don't know how to play if they're losing to Ganondorf.
That is true. That is true. I think if you lose to Ganondorf, you just don't have neutral, you
Yeah,
know?
you just don't really understand
no,
You
but
just
that
don't have
defensive play.
neutral.
nobody's actually no, but Matt Bro's actually good. I played him. I mean, it was
Allegedly, I don't know. Mains
it was
Ganondorf.
okay. It was a close 3. It was a close 2-1 online, and yeah, he beat me. I was like, well, shit, Ganondorf. It just happens. I don't know. It's like just in-game decision making makes up for so much. There's like a lot of player skill involved, and I think like having a good character definitely will propel you further, and maybe that's just the end of the line for Ganondorf. You know, like make a top 8 and isn't gonna win a major, but I feel like just yeah, player skill will definitely just no matter what character you get, if you put enough work into it, then you can definitely make it very far.
You can make it
Um,
work. You can get some results. It's just that like How much can you get? How far can you go on just your skill when your character holds you back that much, you know?
True. It also depends on different goals. Like, does he want to be the best in the world, or does he want to enter tournaments and just beat people with Ganondorf?
That's true as well. Like you can just have fun. You can have fun. You can enter your locals. You can play Ganondorf. You can stomp some noobs. That's an experience. I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
friend in my like friend group whose main Ganondorf liked playing in Smash 4 because he was actually fun in Smash 4. He had that house smash. Ganondorf was just wacky in that game. He was not good, but he was
Hated his up
still
smash.
fun to play. You know, low tiers can be fun. And he kept
Yep.
playing him in Smash in Ultimate, right? And within that friend group, he bodies everyone. He destroys them, and like I don't get it because every single time I've played him, he's taken a game off of me once. That's because it was the first time we played, and he surprised me with like the wizard kick ledge cancel. That was the only time he took a game off of me, and ever since then, just undefeated. And I'm sitting there and I'm telling everybody like, guys, you don't know how to play this game at all. Like, you don't have like the concept of don't rush into these hitboxes, which like they're all like they're not as competitively minded. They don't have the same understanding that I do, and like I don't like trash talk them for it, but I do, but I don't because like I understand that they're also scrubs. Like I was a scrub in Smash Four. They're still in that phase, you know. They're still learning. Like I had to teach one of them how to play his own character. This one kid played Villager, and like I had to tell him how to play Villager, and it's just like no, no, no. You're supposed to camp. You're supposed to use the Lloyd. You're supposed to use forward air, and he's just like, oh, that's what you use that for. That's what people have been telling me. I get it now.
Mm.
Having low level friends, man. What can you do? Still fun to play around with, though, I guess. But
Oh, yeah.
I
I mean,
absolutely throw it in my one friend's face. He'll be like, he'll be trying to talk any kind of smack. I'm like, buddy, your bracket demon mains Ganondorf. Why are you talking? And that irritates him. You can't come back from that.
I don't know. My bracket demons right now is Samus. Freaking
Samus
RJ,
is
dude.
the RJ, yeah. RJ's sick.
Uh, I,
Yeah,
he's really good.
Samus is
But
one of those characters. It's like if you don't know how to play Samus, I can definitely see you struggling with anyone really. Samus is a good character. Like we did our Samus JMU because people were struggling with Samus, and I mean personally, one of my friends who I played with in college, he's from Trinidad. He's PR in Trinidad now. He mained Pit, he mained Samus and Pikachu. He actually started playing Samus because I put him onto Samus. And he's like, oh, this could be a really good character to like counter some of the people in my region. Now he's just a really good Samus. But because I have this experience with him, I'm a lot more confident against Samus than a lot of people I find. And it definitely
oh
just
no,
comes from playing the game more, playing that matchup more, just throwing your face
well,
against the
I
wall.
grinded the matchup. I grinded the matchup during quarantine, and I got a lot better at it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna camp it. I remember I played uh, who was it in the Valiant in the Valiant Court? It was Sailor Waiachi, Samus main, and I literally just grinded that out, and I got like 5 or 6 games in a row, and then I played RJ in a first to five. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna totally beat him this time, and he just clean 5-0'd me, and I'm like, damn it, I thought I knew this matchup. Maybe he's just that good.
For those of you who
Um,
don't know, RJ is from our region. He's an Ontario Samus player. Um, I'm not sure if he's on our PR. I feel like he is. He might be.
well, he was on HM at one point. No, he was on. No, he was PR'd at one point.
Yeah,
But he put in a lot of work during quarantine. If
yeah.
you've been following like the online results, like
Like you'll
he's
see him
making
on
top
Twitter. He
eights and
pops
stuff.
up on Twitter, and it's like, oh, RJ's making these top 10, these top eights, and it's like, oh, dude, I'm so happy for him because he's from my region. I know you got to root for people from your region. He's also a really nice guy. He's a really cool guy. First time I played him, it was at Smash on Tap. We were at a bar, and he was just like drinking a beer, and he was like, "I hope you don't mind. I'm drinking this while we play." I'm like, "What, man?" And then he bodied me, and I was just like, "This guy kicked my ass while he was half cut. What am I gonna do?"
Oh yeah,
No
that'll do it.
chance.
And which brings us back to just enter tournaments. You make friends, and have a good time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Local scenes are just we already talked about it, but local scene you cannot say enough about local scenes. Local scenes are just
Yeah, support your
that
locals.
locals are the type of thing where like you can like dream about it now during while they're not around, and then when they do finally come back, it's just like, oh, this is so great. I'm so happy, you know.
Oh yeah. Um, Actually, speaking of which, I saw like and people getting results. I saw Calm has been popping off,
Calm's been
going
killing
going
it.
to
We love
locals.
Calm.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely a really
Um,
good Peach player.
Playing with
oh yeah.
Nuggets. He and Nuggets are in the same region, so like he shared a top 8 the other day where it was whoever got first, there was like 2 letters, XL or XD or something. They were playing Kazuya. But
DM.
then it was DM, maybe. I think you're right. But then it was Nuggets and Calm back to back, Beach and Daisy, and it's like, yo, look at that.
Oh yeah, I saw a post of results. I think it was Calm was second and Nuggets was third, and then they both lost to Akazuya, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Or it was
talking
one
Oh
of
about.
the
yeah.
two. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, damn, Akazuya? Come on, dude, what are you guys doing?
Well, after
It
that,
seems like such an easy matchup.
Calm was just like, no, man, that matchup's really hard.
And
I bet
like
all those
really
invisible
players,
moves.
Yeah,
player skill goes a long way.
player
And
skill's pretty big.
again, we're very early on in the game. Just because you can beat a level 9 Kazuya doesn't mean you can beat a very good Kazuya.
Speaking of
That's
which,
true. That is true.
I don't know how everyone's getting bodied by these level 9 Kazuyas, because every single time I played the level 9 Kazuya, I'm not even like bragging. I'm not even bragging about beating the CPU. I swear to God, I zero to deathed it every game. Sometimes I zero to deathed it twice. Like, how is
Oh
everyone
yeah.
losing to this Kazuya CPU?
Well, there's like exploits and especially with Peach. Like what I do, like if you spam dare or if you get the CPU on a platform, you can just keep uppering and they don't know how to deal with it. And then edge guarding. But also it's like kind of a meme. It's kind of a meme. Like
Arius was just
the
saying it's
Kazuya
yeah,
can
it's a meme.
yeah, like he can get like some crazy combos and do like 80% strings and you're like holy crap, but that doesn't mean he has like a whole game plan
Yeah.
together.
I think that's
Um
fundamentally what it comes down to with the CPUs. This is why they're not very good practice, is because like there's just certain aspects of gameplay that they don't do. Like CPUs do not understand advantage state at all. Like they'll have you in the corner and then they'll just like jump over you and put themselves in the corner. It's like, thanks. Okay. All they can really do is they know how to juggle, and sometimes they make spicy offstage plays. That's about it. Other than that, it's so easy to get off the ledge from CPUs. It's like people say don't use CPUs to practice because like obviously real humans are smarter. But I think understanding where the CPUs are lacking kind of makes it so you can get a bit more out of that gameplay. So like when I play against CPUs, I do focus on my advantage state more than my own disadvantage state because I know I'm going to get out of disadvantage for free basically. I think about whiff punishing and like it's really easy to play patient against CPUs. I think because like you can just wait for them to swing first, and you know they're going to swing because they're programmed to swing. They're programmed to just hit a button. You know, there's a level. I think that's the level to which you can learn from a CPU. You can learn
yeah,
a little
I
patience.
I do think it encourages you to try stuff like
Yeah,
just go off stage, practice your edge guarding, that kind of stuff. Though like neutral in Smash Bros is so complex. Like if you compare it to other fighting games where there's just like you're put in a set distance or like you can't go any further than like this set distance or like you're kind of locked looking at each other. But
yeah,
in Smash it's like no, I can just kind of go over there for a bit.
yeah, yeah.
You
Like in
know, if
traditional
there's
2D fighters, it's like you have these walls, and obviously you want to get your opponent up against the wall. But in Smash, it's like, what wall? We don't have a wall. We have like a bunch of empty
yeah.
space, and oh look, we also have all these ledges. I can just jump up on these ledges. See ya later. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, like there's so much more freedom of movement and like micro spacing is much more of a thing of just like where exactly do you stand and it's I don't know it's like very very complex. Yeah, there's like I don't ever see a CPU being able to like replicate that kind of thing.
No,
Um, the minute details.
Yeah, unless they're like amiibos, because I feel like amiibo CPUs are different from regular CPUs because they once they level up, they continue to learn even at max level. Like they're constantly learning and doing different moves. I feel like learning from amiibos would be a little bit better than CPUs, but
I've
still not the
thought
same as
about
like
that.
humans and stuff.
I've thought about getting an amiibo just to like use it as almost like a grind partner. But at the same time, I feel like it's an artificial difficulty because they get to level 50, but then they have stats. So like you'll hit them and they'll take 2 damage and they'll move like an inch, and then they'll hit you and you'll take 23 from an F tilt. So it's like it's that artificial difficulty where it's like, yeah, no, the game's just cheating. The game is just drastically upped the damage up on this amiibo, and that's why it's so good. Is because it hits you once and you die just off of the hit.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't use it for real practice, but it can be good. It can be just fun and
Funny
I
memes,
remember like, huh?
funny memes. They had hard
Oh
DK
yeah,
for a while there. Hard DK
hard
was
DK.
beat kicking all
Oh
these
yeah.
top players at asses.
I mean, I
Yeah.
remember like when I was a kid, like I would play Smash 64 and I would just go against three level 9 CPUs and set the handicap to make it as hard as possible for me. And I thought it was really good because I like just abused that they would pick up items and they would just like uh, they would just stand and walk over, stand and pick it up, and I hit them and throw them off. Like, yeah, I'm so good at
Something
this
funny
game.
about that in Ultimate is I made up a little. I made myself a game mode that I can do like 2v1 practice. So it's like me versus two CPUs on a team. They don't understand friendly fire. Sakurai did not program these things with friendly fire in mind. That is not how he meant for you to play the game. So like you'll be playing you just be playing and like the one CPU will have you in the corner and the other one will just F smash his partner for no reason. It's like why'd you do that? He was just sitting there. It's a real cutthroat world being a CPU in this world.
Oh yeah, would not want to be one. But yeah, that's also why I encourage going to tournaments because the one reason why I would like actually encourage to play against the CPU is because it's offline play and you can actually move and
That's the
do
main thing I
stuff
use it
kind of in
for.
a
It's
game.
because it feels good to play.
Yeah, it just feels so much better to play. But you're not actually learning how to play the game against a human opponent. Thing is, if you go online, then it's a completely like you're playing a game. It's a different game, but at least you are playing against a human opponent. You know, so
It's
that's the
not
one
always
reason why
even
I'd
better
say
than the CPU.
not always,
I played a
but
Game and
I
Watch on Quick Play once who just went to the top platform and he would just short hop dare. Maybe he thought I was going to get hit by it. I don't know. I just waited for him to dare and I would just up air him every single time. And he just kept doing it and it just kept
yeah.
not working for him. I don't know why he did it to this day. To this day, I don't know what that boy was thinking.
He's probably practicing against CPUs. He thought
He's practicing
it worked
CPUs.
every time for CPUs. He's like, oh yeah, it'll work for this human, totally.
But yeah, no. Actually, we had Arius in chat making a point about CPUs, saying that they'll like air dodge to get back on stage when you get near them, like basically 100% of the time. It's like 50-50s don't even exist because you know they're always going to hit the button. I think that's also something they're good for, is because you know that they're like I said earlier, you know they're going to hit a button. Because you know the CPU is going to air dodge, it's either they're going to air dodge or they're going to throw an aerial. Because you know that, you can use that as its own practice. Because a lot of humans have that habit too. Like I don't know how many times I feel like every single person I've ever played online, friends, randos, doesn't matter, they mash aerials out of hit stun, or they'll mash aerials when they're way up in the sky. And for Peach, you can catch that for free, basically. Like you have an up air and you have an up B. The up air is a sword, and that up B interrupts like 90% of attacks. It's so hard to beat that up B. Plus it kills off the top. So like, yeah, no, Ares is saying like, oh, you know they're gonna air dodge, but it's like, well, now you can take advantage of that and you can teach yourself how to bait that air dodge. You know for sure they're gonna do it, but like this is how I threaten. This is how I threaten that space that triggers the air dodge, and like then you can use that against people, and you can start to adapt that, and you can say like, okay, well I used that against this person. He didn't air dodge. He double jumped. What do I do after that? And you can start to build your game plan out from that. So you had what you started with was a really predictable CPU habit, and then you applied it to humans, and you are able to build off of that. You know, but at the same
You
time,
can.
I've played CPUs like my whole life because I never had friends, and so I'm also just an optimist for CPUs. I kind of just like them at this point. I don't know, call it
Oh,
Stockholm
yeah.
syndrome, you know?
Yeah. I will say, for people that there's a people of like a modded, better training room options into Smash. I don't use it myself, but it's in other fighting games you can set like, for example, this how does this character react out of block stun? So you hit them with some kind of move, they block it, and you have to react to. You do some kind of block string, and then at one of those times they're going to drop their block. They're not going to block it, and you have to hit confirm off of that. So, and it's other fighting games have like a very robust training mode that you can use to practice for those specific situations. So, like the air dodge thing, you have to recognize when they're going to air dodge, when they're going to jump. How do you bait that? And I think there's, yeah, people were like actually really complaining about. Smash's training mode because you don't have all of those options to like set your opponent to be able to do specific things so you can cover specific options. Um, so that's another thing that like I don't know if people do have the ability to mod their switches, that is absolutely something that they could do to like practice for those specific situations. So I think that is very useful, but if you're practicing against the CPU, then you're kind of just abusing like yes, you're baiting out that one specific thing, and you can learn to recognize those situations against humans, but you being able to like there's so many more different options that so many more characters have, and I would love to be able to prepare for all of them.
Yeah, you definitely make a good point. Like you can have dedicated training for that in training mode with the fabulous training mode mod, which everybody loves to see on Twitter. Um, but as far as my point was just like as far as practicing goes, you can get a low level understanding from the CPUs, and then you can build up from there. That's what I was trying to say. Um, I
Yeah.
will say that training mode mod looks insane. Like Dark Peach made his last video on ground float, nair, and bear on why they're not as safe as they could be. And he said if you're even just like holding float a frame or two too long and your aerial comes out before you drop float, it adds like 5 or 6 frames to your disadvantage. So like your ground float back air will now be -12 instead of -8, right? And seeing that, I was like, oh shit. And he was using the training mode, and it had the little display like, oh, -7, -12, and it's like, he's absolutely right. I've been messing up my back airs all along. I thought I was fine. I thought I was dropping my float, but I realize now I probably wasn't. And ever since then, I've been able to like focus more on practicing that, and I've gotten a lot better at it. So yeah, no, that training mode is honestly like the training mode mod is insane. It's so good. It's so just so many good resources in that we just don't have in the standard training mode, unfortunately. But what can you do other than get
Yeah,
the training mode
especially
mod?
since like I'm known for someone who labs a lot.
You were labbing
Having
up
not
throw.
had
What were you doing labbing up throw? What went through your mind that you were like up throw? Let's figure it
Okay,
out.
Hey,
so
whatever
on
works.
Twitter, Nuggets posted a video showing that maybe up throw is a little useful. And I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna lab it on stream. And people were like, yo, yeah, lab that. I was like, okay, I'll lab it. And I found out that like you can like get some pretty easy tech reads with just up throwing because you can't really DI that very well. So just up throwing, down airing, getting like combos off of that and so a full like whatever. But yeah, the training mod definitely does help a lot. Like with the nairs, what I was labbing, I found out that like you can totally do
He's here.
hey, there's Mint.
It's Mint
Welcome,
Breezy.
Mint.
Yeah,
Welcome in
Pluto said
Breezy. We're
he was
almost done the
joined.
podcast.
Are you
So
sure?
glad you could
Yeah, I
join
was
us.
bothering Mint. I told him to join.
And so what are we
uh,
talking about?
We were just talking about
um
training mode,
Training
training
mode.
mod, yeah,
mod,
training mod.
and
Training
Pluto
mode.
was talking about labbing up throw.
Laughing up for it, right.
Oh, the
uh
nugget with the Yoshis.
yeah, with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Yoshi's up
that
there.
one.
The Yoshi's up there. Yeah.
Tried to do that online, and like the one time I did get it, cause like you know how people in this game they love to like run off a platform and just like throw out an aerial.
Yeah, it's a
So I
classic.
Hmm.
grabbed them and I threw them up, and like it lag spiked at the last second when I got the down air. I didn't even get it. I was so sad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Online, eh, not that good. It
Mm-mm.
sucks.
As Peach, no. I think Peach is one of those characters online because I was talking to someone about this. They said I think there's some characters at like high end top level online that are just too hard to play.
Don't you just love
Like
seeing people who don't play Peach try to tell you she's mid tier online, and you're just like, no, she's not mid tier online. She's like bottom tier online. What are you talking about?
I think
Yeah.
a lot of online comes to down to how your play style and how you play the character. Because I can play if I play Peach like really patient and bait and punish like I would offline, it just doesn't work. But if you use her buttons, she's actually like really annoying online, and she's not that bad. We've seen Ling Ling do well, but that's a Mute tried to play her, and he was like, "No, I can't do this."
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to form bad habits. And I definitely have formed a ton of bad habits from playing too much online.
Well, we know that in our
Yeah, that's why
Discord,
a lot of Peach
Aereo, dude,
players.
Aereo pops off online. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, he hits buttons. That's what he does.
Yeah, he's a masher. I played him
He just
a handful of
buttons.
times. He's a masher. He just mashes.
You gotta play Peach online. You have to match.
Yeah. Especially with his like little turnip shenanigans. He'll pull a turnip, throw it off stage, Z catch it and
That's
throw
the
it back
classic.
on,
That's a
start
classic.
mashing on you.
He throws it into
That's a
the
classic
stage and then he
area.
catches it and he throws it down as the confusion, the bamboozle.
The almost confusion for, non for Peach players, it's not really that confusing. He's just doing random shit. But for non-Peach players, they're like, oh, what he's gonna do next? He's just gonna throw it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's kind of like the most annoying part of the Ditto is being off stage and they're throwing turnips at you. It's like, oh God, this is what I've been doing to people this whole time. This is the worst. How does anyone play with me? Why do I have friends?
But
Yeah,
Peach has float.
me and Mint was actually just talking about that. Every time we play, we're usually getting zero deaths on each other, like fishing. And it's like, damn, we do this to people.
God, the Pluto's literally a turn. It's evolved between me and Pluto, where it's like at the beginning of the game when you're at zero, it's just you fishing for like nair or back air. It's so dumb.
And now you just have so many other things to fish for. It's like, okay, I can zero to death off of like a straight turnip throw, like nair, back air, down air, uh, up throw, whatever floats your
Bro.
boat.
Yeah,
I
no
think
joke.
Yeah.
The stuff that's come out since lockdown is insane. Like we've had some real lab rats in the last year that have been finding so much really cool tech for Peach.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
I'd say quarantine is definitely beneficial for us. Even though we can't play online like how we want to, uh, everyone labbing, finding tech, practicing them, just waiting for locals to come back is definitely like the best part about quarantine for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, because like you, especially with Peach, because online drove all the Peach players into the lab.
That is
yeah.
true.
It's
Yeah.
their safe haven
I
from
worked
everything.
on my Z drop turnip game. I never thought I would, and now I have those now.
Yeah, right.
Feels good.
Or just like movement, just learning how to move around battlefield. Like I remember
Mhm.
a year ago we had what's his name, Daisy player, Dandy Man. Everyone loves Dandy. We had Dandy. He would be in the Discord. He'd be like,
Oh.
"Yeah, when I play, I don't really even play against people much anymore. I just go to battlefield and I just move around the platforms. That's all I do." And now that's literally what I do. That's like what half of us are doing. It's like, oh yeah, no, like that's just a regular part of my practice now. I just go to the triplats and I just jump around like an idiot, just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just part of the warm up.
It's part of the warm up now. It's just like, yeah, no, just platform movement, and it's amazing. It's insane. Like it makes you realize, yeah, no, like movement is probably like one of the biggest things that separates like a low level player from a high level player. It's just the mastery of control of making your character move around the stage.
Oh yeah, I love movement because I used to do speed runs for Castlevania, and then when I played Smash, I was like, I need a character that can move.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that Richter couldn't move. I used like down tilt movement option, and I was like, this character can't move, and so I would only like choose characters that would have like movement options because in speed runs, that's like a big part of some games. Is how well you can move around the game.
yeah, and
I
you
think
have to
that's
feel good like doing the things that you want to do. It just feels good to move and not be locked into like specific options.
I think that's a big
Hmm.
draw for Peach. Is because she has float. She has the single most unique movement option in the entire game. She can stop her momentum in the air at any moment, and she can do whatever the hell she wants. Like, dude, being able to float, that's like the biggest reason I play Peach. When they announced that there was going to be an ARMS representative in Smash, I wanted Twintel because she has a float
For
in
the
that game.
float. Yeah.
Also, she's fucking just such a great character, right? She's great design. She's a movie star, and she got that ass. Uh, yeah, no, like I just thought Twintel was really cool, but the fact that she could float, I think, is what would have made it sold that character for me. But instead, we got Min Min, and she has a reflector on her up smash for some reason.
You can give Min Min the Tanuki tail and then just pretend.
Yeah, you can pretend.
So,
Just give everyone the Tanuki tail.
Yeah, no,
Permanently.
Tanuki tails. We've had some people come in
It's
here in our server with the
busted.
Tanuki combos. They're just really fun to see. It's like, oh yeah, what if this character was Peach, who has aerials that are not balanced for float? What if they can just use all their strongest, fastest aerials back to back to back to back? It makes you realize how broken Peach is, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
girl, Mario with Tanuki tail, just
Palu.
Yeah, Palu was insane.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair. Back air, you just have this invincible shield that's just like you can't do anything about it. Sorry.
Whatever you want. No,
Over
doesn't
down
even
is
have any
also
lag.
free. Like you just float off stage and then you just down air.
Yeah.
God, that's painful.
Look at Ganon. Like Ganon was also pretty dumb because his back air and down air are just
Yeah.
kind of good.
When Nair, Jesus, Nair would be even more busted. God.
Oh, I forgot about Nair. All his aerials are really good and
Ew.
up air.
Ew.
Yeah, he
Oh,
just does
fuck,
fast
up air?
aerials. Why is he such a bad
Ew.
character? Why is he such a bad
Oh,
character?
man.
Oh, I get it. He doesn't have float.
Doesn't have
Yeah.
float. That's what he needs. Actually,
Basically.
Ganon can float. If he had float, he'd probably be really good.
He can
Oh,
float
yeah.
in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it's Ocarina of Time Ganon. He needs float. He just
Give him
needs it.
float. Give him a little ball that you can throw at people and they bounce it back.
Oh my
Think-
gosh, dude. He would be really good, honestly.
If he had a
Like
projectile.
PM?
he would be slow, but if he had projectile and float, oh my gosh, he would be a monster.
He
Yeah,
would be
I'd
moving
Ganon.
around the stage.
He would be so cancer online. Just imagine Ganon with Deity's Gordo.
Mm-mm.
That would be
That's-
so terrible.
Oh wait, it's the fact that he would be a powerhouse with a lot of movement. I don't think we need that.
No, we already have our Sen Joker.
We already have Peach. We
already
don't
have
need
Peach.
another one. We already have Peach.
Wait, we have Daisy too. We do have an
Oh, nobody talks
yeah.
about Daisy.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna make
Daisy.
some of Twitch mad for saying that.
We do have a lot of Daisy fans in our Discord, so I mean, all the power to him. Yeah, Arius is in chat. Arius is like, oh, I know Arius loves Daisy.
I'm sorry.
How wrong they are.
Shout out to Arius making like half the emotes for our entire Discord, man.
But
Yeah,
yes,
shoutouts.
labbing. I think one of the
Who is Daisy? Yeah, who is Daisy? I don't know who that is.
I've never heard anyone say that their name is Daisy.
Are you saying?
Someone was starting to say something about labbing. Who was that?
Oh yeah, I was
Who
gonna
about
say
labbing?
like when we were talking earlier about labbing, I think one of the like most important ones that was found was from Dandyman was the turnip trade. That when that was found, that was like really good because it made some matchups like it gave Peach like a reason like a really big punish out of shield with turnip, and it made some matchups easier like sword characters because you just run up and shield and then you just like turnip train out of shield, and it was
Yeah,
just
the
like
turnip train
really
is
good.
busted. I really
It's
that's one of those
absolutely
decks
broken.
you can't wait to see that one in like grand finals and fucking the
Horex has already used it, and
Yeah,
he's
no.
from my region.
yeah, no, for sure. Like there are even people who have been using it. Mutace was picking it up. Yeah, no, turnip train is big because you just get it off of regular turnip hit, you know, or you can get it off of a nair to turnip. Turnip train is just insane. Gotta love turnip train.
And with
We
Stitch
actually
it,
just
like
recently got a video in resources. Atiki, I think that's the name, on Twitter, had a different kind of turnip train throwing it down, where it's a double throw, where it's the same input, where the short hop Z catch, you throw it down, recatch, and throw it down, and you just do that across the stage. I feel like that might be more relevant because you don't go as far with every loop. Definitely
Well,
something
it
worth
also
labbing.
depends. It depends on the distance. Like the reason
That
why
too.
turnip train is good out of shield is like you can jump out of shield and then throw it for it, and then like throw it and it'll hit. It depends on like it would definitely be good to have in the toolkit depending on where they land on your shield. But like with sword characters, for instance, they want to space their aerial on shields, and you can just like okay, I can punish this and then turn it into 90%. Um, Yeah, definitely a good thing to learn.
Yeah, I would say turnip train is a good thing to learn until you get to the variations of turnip train where it becomes like, oh, maybe you shouldn't learn those, like turnip train 2.0 and 3.0. Uh, those are I would say those are pretty specific for character wise because if you're skinny and you get hit by turnip train 2.0, it's not really gonna work because like the you're throwing it downwards and it's such a small like area to hit. You're kind of just hitting their feet, which just makes it not that good.
It's definitely character dependent. Like if you're against like a big body like Donkey Kong, do the down throw one. You can get way more hits off of that. I can definitely see it getting to the point where like it stops working earlier because if you're throwing the turnip downwards, if they're going out to the right, that knockback is gonna be higher each time. So eventually it's gonna stop working probably earlier than the regular one, but it's still really
Yeah,
cool to
that's why
see.
you cancel it into down tilt and you can catch your turnips and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you convert into something else. But that's why it's very appealing to me is because like how can you convert into this and how can you convert out of this? And that's when you start to get some insane combo game, you know?
Yeah, especially when because like the reason I find Turnip Train 2.0 so cool is that you can go into double down toss into 2.0 because of like just because of how it works. It's kind of cool because on your on your second turnip toss you're on the ground and you can pick it up again by doing your normal buffering jump plus grab and you can toss it down and go into your 2.0s, which I find pretty cool, or even like 1.0s if you like if you want to.
Nothing wrong with that, honestly. Just do what you're comfortable with. Like you don't necessarily need to have the best combos, the truest combos, the most optimal combos. Do what you're comfortable with. Get your damage, get them in disadvantage. That's what really matters. Like a big thing that we talk about sometimes, because a lot of people ask this question is like, how do you do back air to down tilt? And we have a little graphic and resources and it tells you how to do back air to down tilt. I don't even do that half the time. Like I'll only ever go in from back air to down tilt if I'm like right beside them. 9 times out of 10, I just mash more back airs because it's like, why not? You know, it's more comfortable with
Yeah,
that.
cross up their shield. You
I'll
can't. I
do
mean,
like
you can
at
cross up
zero
their
percent. I'll
shield.
do
Like,
3 back airs and then I'll run up in air and then dash attack, and I basically gotten as much as I would off of a regular neutral air combo. So just do what you want, right?
mhm.
If it works, it works. Doesn't have to be true. At any rate, fellas, we are
Well,
about an hour into this podcast, an hour and 12 minutes,
right.
but the podcast started where we were getting set up. So I think this is as good a time as any to wrap it up.
Mhm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I had a lot of fun with this. This is pretty cool.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
this
I
was
did.
fun. All I'm saying is I would have loved to be able to talk to Breezy more. Breezy's a cool guy. Breezy's
Yeah.
all over resources.
Yeah, you just had to oversleep, huh?
I did. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, I woke up.
Yeah. Next time. Next time.
Well, I'm just glad that we were able to have you on at all. At
Mhm.
any rate, I think that's going to wrap it up for our podcast today. I've been everybody's favorite mod, Shnoork. Everybody likes me. Oh, we have one question. Rakali says, for next time, their volume, they're quieter than everyone else. That's me. That's Shnoork. I can move my mic closer. I'm probably gonna bump my gain in the next one, anyways. Thank you for pointing that out, Rakali. I appreciate it because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that type of thing, audio and text stuff like that. So But that's going to be our podcast for the day. I've been Shnoork. We've got on my left, we've got Floating Pluto. Below me, that's Mint Breezy. Down there is second best peach in Canada. I hear his name is Awesomecake or something. He's been around.
First. Hey.
That's
First
Hey.
best,
Hey.
the
conjecture.
best.
We're
The other
using
one, Lennon? I don't know the Canada beach thing.
Well, okay. Let me set the record. It's literally
We're
a
too late
joke
for that, my friend. I'm
because
sorry. We got to end this podcast here. So
no.
we're
Well,
just gonna
okay.
cut out
Don't
here.
There's
worry, you're
more
the
than
best. You're
peaches
the
in
best.
Canada. That's why, and it's just true. Anyway, peace out.